5 years ago we had this crazy idea that we wanted to sell our house and buy and live on a narrowboat. But let's take you back. No, even further than that. This is me, Paul, the eldest of 5 children. In school I was very quiet and very shy, but I loved to create art, I loved nature, and later in life I grew to love photography. And this is Anthony, the youngest of 5 children. He's very bright, very kind, and he might have been small, but he could stick up for himself and stick up and defend his friends when they needed help too. He studied and worked really hard and became a radiographer. We actually met 25 years ago. We both loved to travel and we loved the great outdoors. And right on our doorstep were lots of canals. But our jobs meant that Anthony worked all week and I worked all weekend. Something needed to change. One day we bumped into somebody while walking the dog who told us she'd sold her house and bought a narrowboat, and it was the best thing she'd ever done, and that planted the seed. But life just got in the way. You're conditioned in this country to work hard, save hard and pay off your mortgage. We told ourselves life's short and we don't want to regret the things in life that we didn't do. And that was it. We put our house on the market and we ordered ourselves a new narrowboat. We absolutely loved exploring the canals and rivers of the UK for the first time. Our lives feel like they've changed for the better. It's been one massive adventure. And setting up our YouTube channel, we've met some amazing people from all around the world. Cutting our costs means that we can spend less time in work and more time in the great outdoors. Anthony's dropped down to 2 days a week for work and I've gone full time as an artist. But then this happened.
We are having a brand new boat built. I can't believe we're saying it.
I know.
Our brand new eco-friendly electric narrowboat was launched in May of 2023 and we really thought this was going to be the boat of our dreams.
Well, we're here and the boat is finally in the water.
But then it all went horribly wrong.
Well, everything's just died. The generators died and the batteries are so low that the boat, all the power's cut out. We're sort of drifting across the canal, but luckily we're with friends Pete and Caroline, so they're going to pull us over to the side.
It was one thing after another. We had issues with the batteries, issues with the electrics on board and issues with the skylight. The boat builder offered to put things right and our boat was lifted out of the water. The generator, the motor and the propeller were all replaced at a cost to us of £5,000.
And that is our new generator.
We were back in the water and happy to be cruising again, but that new generator lasted less than 1 hour because it was installed incorrectly. So we're being lifted out of the water again, but this time the boat builder is paying for the new generator. A year down the line and we have to spend thousands replacing our skylights. Enough's enough, so we've decided to sell our boat, move on, start afresh with a brand new boat from Elton Moss in collaboration with Ortomarine.
Well, as you can imagine, after watching that video, the past 2.5 years has been a real stress and a real strain on our relationship. It's not what we signed up for when we were hoping to buy the narrowboat of our dreams and sail off in peace and quiet on the canals and rivers. I'd also like to clarify a few things. Our boat builder has been telling people that we got this boat for free. That is definitely not the case. He's also telling people that this boat was experimental, and that's not true. He's built 3 electric narrowboats, 2 before this one. And the other thing is, we've heard a rumour that we've got a gagging order. That is definitely not the case. Going forward from this, I think our best advice, if you're looking for a narrowboat yourselves, is just speak to as many owners as you can and see if they're happy with their boats. Every boat has issues. It's how that boat builder deals with those issues. We know that the buyer of this boat is very happy that we've put everything right on the boat. There are still a couple of issues, but they're going to get sorted before he moves on to the boat, and he's well aware of that, so we're confident that the new buyer will be happy on this boat. We just want to draw a line under the whole thing and move on to our new boat in the new year. And you probably know that we're having a boat built in collaboration with Elton Moss and Ortomarine. And this is where the video will continue, because we're going over to the Czech Republic to see how they're getting on with that build.
It's 5:30 in the morning. We've walked from the boat, jumped in the van, and we're driving over to Manchester Airport.
We made it. We're at Manchester Airport, about to board our Ryanair flight to Prague.
Yeah, very excited. We've been to Prague before, beautiful city. If you've never been, definitely worth a visit. But our main purpose of this trip is to go and see the progress of the boat build.
Hey, can't wait.
After a 2-hour flight, we arrived safely in Prague. We took the Auto Express rather than Uber, but this took us a lot longer to get into the city centre.
As you can see behind us is Prague main railway station. It was €4, was it, or less, from the airport?
€4 between us. So, yeah.
On the Auto Express. It took about 35 minutes to get here, 40 minutes. And we've now ordered an Uber just to save a 20-minute walk because we're exhausted. We've been up since 5:30 this morning, haven't we?
Yeah. And we've got all our luggage, so actually if we didn't have any of the bags, we'd probably walk.
Yeah, 20-minute walk. I wouldn't mind actually because it's a lovely city to walk around. Right, Uber should be here in 5 minutes.
We finally arrive at our hotel and we've got 2 nights to explore Prague before we drive over to the factory. It's our anniversary and it's my birthday, so we're treating ourselves to a cocktail at the Butterfly Lounge. Prague really is a beautiful city. We didn't feel any pressure to see all of the sights because we did go to Prague about 4 years ago. And we discovered this real gem, a really quiet cafe off the main street. And the coffee was lovely.
No cake?
No cake for me.
And I'm having honey cake. Never tried it before. It's absolutely delicious. Very sweet.
There were lots of delicious treats available for the tourists, and a really popular treat are these chimney cake cones. We walked over to the Jewish Quarter, and this is a really classy area of Prague. Lots of expensive designer shops and beautiful buildings. We're being joined by Rob and Caroline from Ortomarine and Artie and Ruth from Elton Moss later in the day. They have texted to say that their flight's been delayed.
I've actually booked for the concert. I'm really looking forward to this.
It's 44 seasons in... do you know where the place is?
It's a beautiful church right near Charles Bridge. Anthony loves pizza.
That's you. That's how cultured Paul is.
I love a classical concert. I also love opera. You're not keen.
I don't like a concert. It's like nails down the blackboard for me.
Oops, sorry Anthony.
We're at Oops of Prague, is it called? Oops of Prague. I'm really looking forward to this.
It's got really good reviews, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
I've got the reviews.
I might have to queue up to get in.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when you have to queue.
What have you gone for?
Spicy spare ribs.
Okay, I've gone for barbecue. It's my favourite.
Well, after a long day and our lovely dinner, we walked back to the hotel. It's about a 25-minute walk. And Prague really does look beautiful at night. And look who's arrived just in time for last orders. It's Artie and Ruth with Rob and Caroline.
Morning. As well as coming to see the sights in Prague, we've tied it in with a visit to go and see.
On a new boat.
Yes, we're very excited. We think the shell's finished. We're going to go and meet the guys at the factory and see where they're up to.
Morning, gang.
Artie and Ruth have hired a 6-person car to drive us all over to the factory. It's about a 2-hour drive. Rob's just recovering from an operation on his foot, so he's had to wear that boot for the flight and he's got to walk on crutches.
Well, we finally arrived at the factory and we're about to see the shell for the very first time. We can't wait.
The guys here made us feel really welcome. So yeah, we're really excited to actually finally see the shell.
Yeah, really friendly team of guys here, and they've worked really hard building the shell for us. We can't wait to see it. Come and have a look.
This is going to be our new home. She's 58 feet long and 6 feet 10 wide.
I can't believe it. Looks amazing, doesn't it?
We're going for electric propulsion again with a backup diesel generator for when the batteries aren't topped up enough from the solar. And this is where Rob and Caroline come in. Their expertise in this field is exactly what we need.
On first impressions, the boat looks incredible. The duck hatches are big, the skylight's being cut, the steel work, and the welding looks immaculate, and it's so straight. But Artie's just been explaining a couple of things to us, so speak to Artie.
The very first thing we do when we lay down the base plate is we actually lay it out on a flat engineered bed. So there's absolutely no distortions built into the shell as a result of it lying on an uneven concrete base. We also bring the base plate flat all the way through to the bow because that allows the boat to move better through the water, and it also allows the bow thruster tube to be put at a better height so that it's more effective.
As you can see, we've got 3 portholes on each side of the boat and just a hopper window in the galley. The portholes for us make it cooler in the summer and it's warm in the winter, and it does give you that little bit more privacy and more wall space. You can see the cutout here for the skylight in the ceiling, and either side is the duck hatch. It's going to be a great area for creating art with lots of natural light.
So while this isn't our shell, the duck hatch doors are exactly the same as the ones that we're actually getting. In fact, they've been fabricated, just not fitted yet. It's got a glazed unit in the centre. The size of the duck hatch is amazing. It's going to be incredible during the summer to let that breeze through.
In this corner is it's partly
by the sink
to dovetail into the sink, and it's partly because we're going to have the oven on this side underneath the gunnel.
600 washing machine, 400 dishwasher. Where were you thinking the fridge would go?
We're heading back over to the office to chat to some of the engineers, and Rob and Caroline are already over there going over some of the finer details. We've been in talks with Rob and Caroline and Artie and Ruth for over a year now, and we're so grateful that they've offered to help us to design our dream boat.
But he put the servo, the tank 140 and the quattro himself, and then just a lot of interface signal, very much a condensed one. So that's just got our PLC.
We first met Rob and Caroline at the very first Electrica boat show, and we do feel that we're in very safe hands.
So
we're going to speak to Rob from Ortomarine and find out how this collaboration came about.
We'd obviously heard your story about your boat and things that you would like different, and we wanted to basically help where we could try and show people that electric narrowboating was a viable thing to do. It is something that is achievable, and we do feel continuous cruising can be achieved on an electric narrowboat. So if there was an opportunity for us to try and help you achieve that, then we would genuinely try and do all we could to make that happen.
And going forward, I believe you're planning to spend some time out here and talk to the engineer and work with them.
Yeah, so we want to try and introduce our own sort of in-house automate system. So we want to then work with the Czech engineers and then introduce some of the pieces that we normally use on our own builds into the Elton Moss sort of ecosystem. So it hopefully an opportunity for us to sort of both work together and show that we can do an excellent fit out with maybe a little bit more of the technical equipment that we use on ours with the sort of software that we design ourselves.
And I guess this sends out the right signals for the electric boat industry, because what we didn't want to do is jump from an electric boat and go back to diesel, because that would be a real shame, I think. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I agree, and there's still, I think, quite a sort of an amount of negativity around some of the comments that you see on online forums, etc. Maybe people don't fully appreciate that electric boating is possible to do. We've got dozens of our customers who use their electric narrowboats throughout all 4 seasons without issue. They can go 50, 60, 70 days without needing to run generators. So we know that it is actually doable and achievable.
Yeah.
The next stage of the build for us is to get the foam insulation sprayed inside. Once this is dry, they can start lining out the boat and doing the interior fit out. We've gone for an enclosed bar with a bedroom at the front. We've also gone for a round stern this time with a square skirt. And we're just having one small skylight over the dinette this time. We prefer to have the roof space so that we can have flat solar panels installed on the roof. The whole fit out is done in the Czech Republic, and then it's loaded onto a lorry and brought over to the UK on a ferry. There's still a long way to go, but we're really hoping that the boat is ready in January.
This shows the spray foam stage. What we aim to achieve is an average of 38mm on the cabin sides and the hull sides, 65mm on the cabin top and on the cabin front and the cabin back. The reason that we go for a thicker insulation on the cabin top is because that gets very hot in summertime. The reason we go for the thicker insulation on the front and the back bulkheads is because we channel the low level ventilation down. We don't put it in the doors. So what we want to achieve is a good thickness behind the actual box section that takes the low level ventilation down. One of the key differences when we do the spray foam is what we don't aim to do is minimise the amount of time that it takes someone to cut the spray foam back. We actually want to achieve the thickness of spray foam that will give the boat good insulation. An average UK boat build says that it's 25mm insulation, but if you actually take the panels off, in some cases you're lucky if you've got 12, and the whole reason that is done is that you can put one man into a boat for one day and he can cut back, whereas it takes 2 men 3 days to cut this back because the spray foam's done properly.
We've lived on the canals for 5 years now, and this is going to be our 3rd boat and hopefully our final one. We're hoping that we've taken some experiences and learning curves from our other boat builds and incorporated them into this build. It was good for us and it filled us with confidence going around the factory looking at other boats in various stages of build and checking out the quality. And this is European oak. The factory cut this themselves to make the trims for the boats. We feel like we've got a really good team working together here and we're really looking forward to seeing the finished product. I think Anthony and myself are pinching ourselves that this is really happening. We've waited so long for this and we can't believe the shell is nearly finished. These are the bow thruster tubes and we're also hoping to get a remote control. The factory is located just on the outskirts of a lovely little town called Trebeek. We popped over there for some lunch.
Yeah, cheers.
You didn't. Yeah.
It's actually metal filings, I think.
Oh yeah, hair and makeup. So Artie, we've been dying to come along and see the factory and we're very impressed with the facility here, and we first got chatting to you 2 years ago at the Crick Boat Show. Can you remember what we chatted about on that day?
I remember you came across and I said to you that I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't know you were thinking of changing your bicker staff, because had you talked to us, we would have been able to get you a boat that didn't have the issues that the boat that you subsequently ended up with did have.
And you also said to us that day, and we came away from chatting to you feeling very positive, saying that you could possibly help us to build a new boat, and you even sold our old boat for us, didn't you?
Well, one of the advantages that we had is that we have the brokerage arm as well as the new boat building arm. And we did talk about the possibility of going to a diesel boat, but both of us felt that were you to do that, it would give a very negative impression of electric boats, and it would potentially put a lot of people off having an electric boat that needn't be put off.
Yeah. And then fast forward a few months later, we go to Electrica at Brinklow and we get chatting to Rob and Caroline from Ortomarine. And it all sort of fell into place that you offered help, and then also Rob and Caroline were very kind enough to offer help and come and sort out some of the issues on our boat. So thanks for talking to us, Artie. I'm going to pan over to Caroline.
We spoke to Caroline about the first time that she came out to see our boat to offer help.
We're very aware that the narrowboat industry is, there are a lot of naysayers who are saying that electric boating really isn't fit for purpose. We want to prove to people that it absolutely is. If it's correctly engineered, electric boating is the only way to go. So we were keen to work with you. We don't like seeing anybody suffer, and we wanted to help you out from as soon as you contacted us. We'd been talking to Artie and Ruth about collaborating because we actually want to work with other boat builders because of our history, our background in electrical engineering. Rob, my other half, he is very technically competent, and we want to give other boat builders, if they're willing to work with us, the benefit of his lots and lots of years with electrical engineering.
And actually, we all sat down. It was very informal, wasn't it? We went for a meal that evening. We all sat down together and we came up with a plan to sell our boat and build a new boat. And we were very excited at the prospect. And now we're here in the Czech Republic looking at the shell. And what's the next stage of the boat build?
We really wanted to come out to the Czech Republic to meet the guys, just to talk through we're very aware that our approach and their approach may not, there may be a little bit of, head banging because we do things a certain way, they do things a certain. I think it's always better to meet people in person. There is a bit of a language barrier, but we're very keen to work with them over here. And like I say, we just want to make sure that you have the most well-engineered boat that you can possibly have, so that you can cruise for days on end without starting your generator. We're putting rigid panels on your boat because we fundamentally feel for liveaboards who want to cruise in the winter and don't want to be stuck in a marina all the time in the winter. Rigid panels, if you can tilt them, will give you a lot more solar generation. We want to work with you to give you the boat that you should have had when you change from your Bickerstaff, basically.
And they're a very hard-working team and a friendly team here, aren't they? And you don't want to step on any toes, but in the same vein, you want this boat to perform as well as it can, as well as it could do for us,
definitely,
I guess.
Yes. And I think we will provide detailed drawings, we will provide detailed schematics of everything. But at the end of the day, if it takes Rob to come over here and actually work with the guys over here, we want to be confident that the system is going to replicate as near as possible one of our own systems. And I think sometimes the only way to do that is to be in person.
Is your plan to do more collaborations?
Yes, definitely. We're already working with, we've worked with 4-5 boat builders on collaborations, and it's going really well. I think some boat builders recognise that they don't have the electrical expertise in-house. These boats that we're building are almost like complex electrical control systems, and there are so many things that have to talk together and communicate in order for it to function correctly. It's not just a standard diesel boat with 12 volts for your lighting, your shower pump. It's a lot more complex than that, so you really do need somebody that has a background in electrical controls. And also there's so much scaremongering in the industry around battery technologies, the recent explosion on one of the day boats. We want to assure people that there are ways that can be absolutely minimised, and I think hopefully we'll get the opportunity to talk more about that, and even film to do with the batteries that we're proposing for your boat at some point.
Excellent. Well, we're really looking forward to this collaboration, and we know it's going to be a good one, and we honestly feel like you've really stepped in. You're sort of the heroes of the day, the four of you. So yourself, Rob, Artie and Ruth, building us our new boat, and we're really looking forward to this being the boat of our dreams. So thank you very much.
Definitely.
Artie's been good enough to drop us off at the train station, and it's now a 2-hour journey back to Prague itself.
What we're doing now? Waiting for the train to get back to Prague. Well, we'll first class be one of the front carriages then. Don't get your tripod from the water.
We couldn't quite believe that a first class ticket to Prague, this is a 2-hour journey, is just £7 each.
Well, it's been a very, very long, unproductive day. We're heading back to Prague now. We're not going to get back till just after 10 o'clock. It's a 2-hour journey. But thanks to Ruth and Artie, especially Artie for the driving and taking us out to lunch. The guys at the factory, Rob and Caroline for their time as well. We were really excited. The shell itself looks amazing, and the skylight that's been put in is really neat. So yeah, we're very excited, we can't wait.
Yeah, and thanks to Artie and Ruth's son Callum for sorting our tickets out and phoning us with updates to say that they were running okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Right, we need your help. Elton Moss have a range of boats for sale, and they've all got different range names. Some of them are Westminster, Mayfair, that kind of thing. So we need your help. Can you come up with a range name for this collaboration with Elton Moss and Ortomarine that they can use for future boats? And if you can, leave your name ideas in the comments on this week's video. That's it for this week. We really hope you've enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, it really helps us out, and subscribe is completely free. See you next time.